Hello and welcome back. So let's see. For me, today is Saturday. For you, today will be Monday. And as you can see here, kind of jumping around, I've made a little bit of progress in getting some of this room set up. I did expand the room by 3 blocks. So I kind of pushed the walls out, that type of thing, because I wanted a little more room around the edges so that the walls would actually line up correctly. So you can see I did here the same little column setup we have over in the infusion room. So eventually this will get replaced with those arcane runes. And right now what's slowing me down is the vis response required to make these components, because I need faucets or these little valves. I need the filters, and I also need restricted pipes. Along with that goes into making a buffer. I also need the buffers to go along the bottom here and then to go into these tanks. See, I've been slowly moving stuff around. So what I've got here in my hand is some vacuous, and since I had a little extra, I wanted to put it back in the system. I set this little thing up here on the end. As long as this jar is not labeled, kind of like what I had set up over there, it'll suck it out and push it into the system. As long as I don't put anything in here that doesn't have a jar, and I don't go over 256 of any one item in here, well, 256 plus a jar, I'm okay. So as soon as I get another one of these reservoirs, I'll put it here, and I'll start moving some of my extra permutation in here, metallum, things like that. But so right now I'm just kind of trying to catch up on some of the materials. I have, as you can see here, it kind of goes all the way around. The ones I don't have here are the odd ones. Let's go Pile of Essentia. So the ones I do not have start at Luxuria. So yeah, right here. This entire bottom row I don't have. And now if you kind of look here, you see here I start out with air. I'm following this order when I'm putting them in the room. So I started here. This will be my very first jar. This will be my very last jar. So it'll end up somewhere around here. And I'm guessing either somewhere in this region or over here I'll put the crystallizers, which we haven't built yet. So eventually I need to get to those. What is on the plate today as far as what we need to get done is the what I keep referring to as cracking a node. And what that is we're going to... Oh, of course, now I can't find it. There it is. We need to get a node stabilizer and then one of these, there it is, node transducers built. What this will basically do is it will take the node from the state we're used to seeing it into, and it basically breaks it down, and from that point it will give us the centi-vis. The node no longer becomes useful. Like I can't just walk up to it and charge from it with my wand, but I can relay that power all over the place using the little relay crystals we can build. So it ends up being useful. Plus, a lot of the machines in Thaumcraft require it, because I mean, you look here, this little focal manipulation. This allows us to add enchantments to our foci for the wands. It requires that. This, if I put this on top of one of these little crafting stations here. So this Vis charging relay, as long as I have a relay attached to a node close enough to it, any wand left in this crafting station will charge very slowly based on the node. So it's kind of useful for that. It will also allow us to get this thing online. I could build this at any time, but if I can get some fire centi-vis into it, it will cook things faster. Basically, you drop stuff you won't burn into the top and it spits it out the front. So really useful. The flux scrubbers require air centi-vis to run. The crystallizer, where's the crystallizer? Alchemy maybe? There it is. The crystallization. This one, is it air or Terra? Terra. Yeah, so it goes by itself normally, but if you give it some Terra, it goes even faster. So that's kind of what we're looking for right now. What I want to do is I don't necessarily need to find a fantastic node, but I need a node that has everything on it. And that's my goal. Whether or not I have to, manipulate a couple nodes to get one to eat another one to get the materials I want on it, that kind of remains to be seen. Right now what I'm thinking is I was hoping to put an alchemy station in one of the alchemical constructs, at least in each one of these corners somewhere. Not exactly sure where. It might just go on this wall and that wall of both the corners. Hey, like I said, I haven't really decided yet. Wherever I don't put that, I want to put a node. So I mean, these are odd numbered edges here. At least I hope they are. Oh dear. They're not, of course. Okay, so they're 8. That'll be fun. Not sure how I managed to do that. Either way, the room looks fine. Who cares? I'll make it work. But I want to have at least a construct on each side and a node on each side. So then what I could do is, I can feed it wherever I need to go, or depending on how I start, I may just have one node here in the corner and use it to run the eventual alchemical furnace that'll go here in the middle, the big one. So kind of waiting around to see. I also need to get some type of area for one of those demon furnaces. What the heck is that thing called? Oh, wrong one. Infernal furnace. There we go. I want to get one of those somewhere. But for now, what I'm going to do, I am going to try and remember where I was. It was under thaumaturgy. There it is. So I need to get these components together, which I believe I have most of. I'll have to make those. And I also need to get the materials together for one of these. Not that big a deal. Fairly easy to make. So I'm going to get those together, and then I will be back, and we'll get those things built, and we'll see how it works. Alright, so I think I got the materials I need here. Yeah, I am going to run out of power in this wand. So first we got our node stabilizer. Now we are going to need 2 node stabilizers because we got the first one. This will go on the bottom of the node. Now to make the second one, completely lost my train of thought there. What is this thing even called? There it is. Node transducer. There it is. So to make that, we need another one of these stabilizers. Unfortunately, the stabilizer requires, the stabilizer requires 32 of every type of essentia, which, of course, well, not every type. Looks like order, water, and terra. Of course, I just burned it up, and this wand only has a cap of 50, so we need to do a little bit of recharging. We're probably going to do that a couple times before this is done. A new wand is on the list. I'm actually thinking about making a scepter instead of a wand because they'll hold a little more. And I don't really do combat with the wand. I mean, I've got one right now that I use. I use this one if I ever have any of the foci to use, so don't really need anything else. There's another one of those. And why did I only make 2 of those? That means we gotta go, let's take a look. So what we're gonna need here is we need one in the middle now. We do need 2 more redstone blocks. And I'm probably gonna need some more V, so let's go get ourselves a couple more redstone blocks. I crafted up 7 of them, and for some reason only took 2, and I need 4. Luckily, it's something that's pretty easy to get. I do need to get the witches back online at some point, because right now, as we burn this stuff up, we're actually using it up. I mean, there's nothing bringing this back in. I did have a little bit coming in from the Well of Suffering, but since that got blown up, apparently they changed it at some point, like we were talking about, I think a couple episodes ago. The witches throw potions, apparently, and when they throw potions, they annoy the creepers. Then the creepers explode and blow things up. So I got some of course I had 4 in there. I got some of it fixed, but not enough, so I actually had to shut the whole thing down. So it's not actually producing any power. So kind of, if you watch, my power hasn't changed at all over the last few recordings here. It's been pretty similar to that the entire time. I mean, it has started going down because I am using 5,000 a shot when I turn it to night, but it'll last a while. Now, I think what we're going to do, we are going to put a node right here. So what I'm going to do, normally you'd use like a node in a jar for this if you didn't have blood magic, but I've got blood magic, so we're going to use that because it's a heck of a lot easier and doesn't require so much power. So now what we need, let's see, what does this one have on it? So this one has everything on it but air. So I would like to have air on the node that I'm going to be messing with, but we may not get that right away. So what we'll do is put this in here, put our button on it, and poof, gone. And now we go back up here. We're going to break this one. Worst case, if I have to, I can disassemble it and trash it later if I find something better. But let's take a look at it. So 6. You know what? I'm going to go find an air node, or node with air on it. I'm going to feed it to this thing to at least get a couple points into it, and then I'll be back. Because I might as well, if I'm going to do it, I might as well just do it. So I'll be back. Alright, so I found a node. Now, it took me probably about 20-30 minutes to find it. I'm not sure why, but the nodes are extremely rare on this map. I don't know if there was issues generating them or what, because, I mean, all the nodes I've got, I've either grown in silverwood trees or I've had to span out quite a ways to find them. But I found this one, and it's got some peridot on it, but it's also got some air, and you can see it's got 35 on it, which is slowly bleeding into this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that finish. I'm probably going to just put like a little spot loader in here, but what we're going to do first is we're just going to get this thing under it so you can kind of see the effect, because it's kind of neat when you plop it down. It kind of activates. You can kind of see it light up there. Now, let's see, can we... There we go. So that's how you create the top one, the actual transducer. Now, we're not going to activate that one yet because we do not want that to happen. So what I want to do here is I think I'm actually going to shut that one off. Will this work? There it goes. So what will happen is that when this one's active, if I put that redstone block on top of there, these little red pylons will come out and it'll start breaking down the node. It'll drain each one of those values down to 0. Once that happens, the node will break. It'll turn into its CV form. And then it's capable of being drawn from by that those little node pieces you can stick to them. I can't remember what they're called, crystal relays or something. We'll have to look them up when we get to that point because we'll need a few of them. But I'm not going to do that yet. And one thing to keep in mind is you do not want to break a node once it's been broken down like that. If I remember correctly, you can shut this thing down if you actually turn this thing off and let the node return back to a normal node. I think you can get rid of it then, but it basically destroys the node if you do that. It comes back so weak it's not really worth having. So that's kind of one thing to keep in mind. But we're going to get some chunk loaders or spot loaders around here somewhere, because this chunk is not loaded by the altar. So we're just going to put that there because I am actually going to take a break for a while. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to let this run. I'm actually going to kind of leave the house, actually. It's kind of a weird thing. You know, people who play video games never do that, right? I'm actually going to go see that future... No, I can't even remember what it's called. I don't remember. Eventually, after I see it, I'll remember it, and then maybe I'll remember to talk about it. But I know it's been one of those movies I saw, and it's like, well, that could be kind of interesting to see, so I'm going to go see it in the theater. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let this thing run. That'll give it probably 3-4 hours to run. Hopefully that'll be enough time for it to draw some of this off. I'd like to get all of this pulled in here because it'll raise the peridot value up too, because it's only a 6. So I want to say it's the square root of this number. So it gives you the value. The higher the number once it's reduced is how much it's capable of producing as far as, like, you know, charging a wand or being attached to one of the foci enchantment stations, that type of thing. So like I said, I'm going to let this thing run, and once it's done, I'll be back, and then what we'll do is we'll get this thing activated, get this node broken down, and see what we can do with it. Alright, and we're back, and you can see the little node is gone, which means we don't need that thing anymore. We can put that away. Now, you can see this thing's got a nice little setup on it here. So we're going to start this process because this may take a little bit. So you can see the stabilizer came back online, gave us a little fishbowl, and now we're going to activate the transducer. You can see the little orange ones comes down, and it starts kind of attacking the node. And you can see the numbers kind of start to plummet. It goes fairly quick. I mean, it used to, I think on the older versions it took longer, but it's kind of interesting. It seems to actually be moving fairly quickly now, which is nice. You know, it doesn't take forever, which is good. And how are we now? Almost. And come on. Of course, now it's going to make us wait. Go figure. Oh, we got stuff to craft. Hurry up. It's always like when you're watching, it's amazing how slow things can go. I kind of wanted to actually see it. I haven't actually seen one pop in a few versions of this. Normally I start it and I walk away. There we go. There it is. So you can see how it's got that little sparkly vein pattern coming out of it. Now it is no longer usable. Like if I take my wand, nothing happens when I right click. Useless that way. You also notice the numbers are kind of low. We had what, 70 some Terra on that thing, give or take, and we got 8 now. And apparently I need to close my door. Some very loud teenagers downstairs. I will be right back. Alright, got that taken care of. Let's get another piece of the puzzle put together here. I don't know why, but I keep hitting E. It's very annoying. Alright, so I got that one in place. Now all we need to do is move the jar up. Now, I don't remember... No, I didn't have any more. I only made 1 jar of that stuff, so there's no worries there. I think I only made 1 jar of the mortise as well. Yeah, the tenebrae, I'm going to end up voiding some of it because there's too much of it there when I get there. So you can see I'm almost done with this wall. Because these, what are you doing there? That's not right. There. If you right click on the intersection between a pipe, you can kind of see how it's transparent. You can disconnect them, which is what we want. We don't want it flowing between, because each of these tanks is capable of holding more than one type, so it can get a little messy. But because of these filter pipes, what you do with the filter pipe is you get a vial, or a file, however they can pronounce it, and you take a sample out of here. So like I take 8 out of this, you craft it in here, so like the file would go here. I get a label for that specific type, and then you slap it onto this filter pipe here, and you can see right now it says that one is, what is this? Venom, whatever. So now, as far as this pipe is concerned, it has an existing pressure of that element. So you can hear the pipes are just creaking and rattling all the time. It's kind of a neat effect. But it basically means that as it's coming through, if it's air, it has a suction that will pull it up here. That means that this tank will only take in air. Without this here, as things flow down, these tanks will start taking up more elements than you want in them. So it doesn't really work out that well. Let's go grab, I just made that reservoir we put in there. Let's go grab it and I'll show you what it does when you put it back into the system. We didn't use much. Let's pop over here. Get used to flying after a while. Alright, so I got the vacuous first. So I pop it in there and you can see how the number starts going back up, fills up to 64 and stops. So what it's doing is it's using this as a buffer and just kind of filling it down, which is really nice. Alright, so we got that. Now, let's get on to something useful. We'll start with this. Alright, so I need great wood rods, iron, and one of those. Oh, found a balance shard. That shouldn't be that bad. Balance shard's going to require every element except the shard type I put in there. Let's see, what do we got? I have no idea why it does this. It gives me a number for one, but not always for the others. I'm guessing it's like a line width or something. So 179, no clue. 172. Okay, so order we definitely have the least of. So what I'll do, let's just do, we don't have much entropy. So we'll do some of those. Now, do I have enough slots? I can do, yeah, I think we can make that work. Let's do this though. Grab another set of pipes. Let's see if we can get this thing wired up. And if I remember right, this will work. We'll find out. So we're going to run this one up a little higher. So we can put a jar right there. And then, oops, let's do this one over here. This is just spaghetti, but you know, it should work. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, that should do it. So now if I take you out of here, put you in there. Where? There it is, balance shard. Oh, apparently it had enough Ignis stuck in one of the pipes still. That's useful. Okay, so I need every element except the chaos element. Paradiso, I think it is. So let's pop over here, make use of what we've got. Ooh, Ordo is definitely a little lower, so get this one. Only needs 2 each, so I only need 16 of each of the elements, luckily, but oddly enough, the primals are a bit of a pain to get sometimes. Alright, let's do you there, there, and hopefully those putzes downstairs laughing isn't coming through, even though my door's closed. What do you got going on there? Okay. Alright, now we got balance shards. Let's just take one of them to begin with, and we'll let the other ones do their thing. Come over here. We're not going to make any more filter pipes at this exact moment. We need some iron, though. Let's see. Okay, so those are our relays. So it's just a balance shard surrounded by iron, you know, piece of cake. So let's come over here. Now, the one thing I don't remember for sure, actually, we need to go back over here. Because we need... is this how you do it? That makes sticks. That's not what we need. I don't remember if for this thing to activate, if I need one of the relays on the node or just having it near the node if it counts. I know this can act as a relay. Alright, how do we make you? Okay. So we need to go back in here. Nope, that won't work. We need... Let's just do that many. We need some of these rods here. So... 1, 2, 3. 3. Okay, there we go. Now, what does the book say? A relay and 2 iron. So, a relay. And... some iron. Oops, I need 4, not 2. Do I have enough? I do not. Go figure. Alright, so what do we need? Oh, that's a pipe. That's not the wand. A little bit of everything. Looks like Ordo is the one that's really burned down, though. This is one of the reasons I want to get this running, and I'll show you once we get it in there. It means if I leave my wand just sitting on the charging table like I'm going to be doing, as I'm running around crafting, I can just come back every once in a while and yank the piece out that I want because it'll slowly charge over time. And I mean slow, it's not going to be fast as far as it goes. Now, if you have one of those hungry nodes that you can find people making where they feed it crafting tables for a month and they come back and the thing's the size of this room when you look at it through the goggles, that's a little bit different. But it'll work. Okay, we got 7 more. Perfect. Now we're going to put these things away because I don't want to mess up the sorting system there. Okay. Air. 8. Oops, weird. And Terra. Alright. Let's go put our toys away when we're done so we don't end up stepping on them in the dark. Because that's never fun. Alright, so now I just wish I need to find some way to label these. I mean, I know what they are by looking at the symbols, but occasionally it could be irritating if you took the jar and can't remember where it goes and you're in a hurry. So we put these down, and some of these have the reservoir in place, so they are going to fill back up. You can kind of see they're already topped back off again, which is nice. Now, just for the time being, we're going to put this here. Nope. Give me that back. Here. No. There. Now, we got this thing. So what we do to make this work, shift, right click. Oh, perfect. You see how it linked up? This counts as a relay. That's perfect. Now if we take this wand, put that in there. Now you can see it. Look at it charge up. So it'll just kind of go, which is fantastic. Now if you watch the beam, it'll change the color. These beams are only capable of relaying 1 element at a time from a node. So you can see as you watch it right now, it's charging, but you'll see it kind of flickering a little bit. So it's running through the 2 of them. So it's kind of neat how they work. And also happens if you have one of these Viz stones on. I want to say that it's capable of charging from the relays if you're near them, but I haven't used one in a while, so I'm not positive. Come on, open. Alright, so we need that. So see, what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to take a bunch of these tables, get those relay caps on them, and get them over here, and maybe make a bunch more of these little wands here, just to have a bunch of them, and get them laid out, because then I just leave the component in there, and whenever I need something I just walk back and pull it out, because it'll be charged and ready to go. So there's that one. You can see how it connected, and now it's sending Terra. Okay, so it looks like they can send multiple. Oh, that's right. It can only use 1 element at a time. So this wand is nearly charged. So we could make something else in there if we wanted to. So what do we need right now? Let's go with buffers. Let's go make some buffers. So see, this is nice because once this caps out, you're done. I mean, you don't have to mess around with it anymore. So now, is it actually? Yeah. Because I'm wearing this necklace that I found in the Runic dungeon, it's pulling from this relay. It's always neat, like if you've got these things on the wall while you're walking around, if someone else is standing there, like so Newt was standing next to one of these, I'd see this thing light up because it was charging his wand, it's kind of a neat little effect. Let's go over here and make a couple of components for the buffers and see if we have enough. Come on. Alright, so I've got half the materials in here. I need the valves and the restricted. So we need some restricted pipes. These are the pain. I mean, 16. That stings. And we need some valves. So the valves go on top, restricted on the bottom. Wand goes in there. And now we got 2. We come over here and we slap them in place, set the redirection on them to make sure that they're flowing in the right direction, and we continue on. But first thing, put our wand in there, that way it charges. See, I told you, it's awesome. Of course I need the wand to do this, but you know, what you gonna do? Alright, let's see, what do we want to do now? I wanted to make some more of these, because I'm gonna need, I might as well just make all 7, I think. Is that how many I have? Yeah, let's just do that. So I'm gonna need, definitely need more iron. I'm gonna need some great wood, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's grab some iron. Let's grab the great wood. Is there anything else I needed from here? No, I think this will do for now. It'll at least get us going. So what we'll do is we'll make a bunch of those relays so we can make a bunch of these charging, whatever the heck these things are called. What are they called? Charge relay. Okay. So let's do that. Get these in here. And relays. Oh, not enough. Okay, so now, yeah, you see we're missing these 2, and it'll slowly build back up. Now we've got the fire, and oops. Okay, so in this one, let's make, how many am I going to need? I don't want to waste the relays if I don't need them, because they can be useful. Let's make 1 for each one of these, so that's what, 6? That works. Let's see. Yep. For a minute there I just about turned around since I normally don't craft in this room. So we need 6. So from that we're going to need 12 more of these. I think you only get 1, isn't it? Let's see here. Yeah, just 1. There. Okay. Now we've got our sticks. I left all the iron in here. I used up almost all the iron. Fantastic. So the iron goes here, the relays go here, the wand goes here, and now we've got 2 more. So let's go grab our tables. I did leave the wand in there. Yeah. This setup, I mean, this room is probably, or that room back there is probably going to be a little messy for a while. I mean, it's going to take a little bit to get everything running the way I want it in there, so I'm not sure how long that's going to take. I'm more interested in getting the room up and running to have the materials functioning the way they're supposed to, as I am about making it look pretty at this point. Because I need that room to be working so I can actually do more of these infusions. Because if I had this room in place, making these tanks would be, or these reservoirs would be so much easier, which is kind of a catch-22, I guess. Alright, let's plop these down here. So I had 6, so we're going to do 4 on each side. So the other one's over there still. Grab these. 1, 2. So those will all link together. Don't need those right now. Let's see. We'll do the valve here. Restricted here. Let's leave 8 in there. Now, every once in a while, it clicks extra. It's really weird. Like I'll be rolling my mouse and all of a sudden I'll have a stack of something where I should have only had 1. Odd little glitch, I guess you'd call it. Let's get these vials back where they go. Oop, nope. Come on. And okay, so now we got our tube. Filter pipe, we need that on one of these. So we'll put here and here. I try to keep like one of whatever's needed to craft it in the table. That way I can remember what in the world I was trying to make when I was setting that table up. Because sometimes it's a pain to remember all the crafting recipes. Let's take a look where we're at. We're going to make a few more of them. And nighttime. Alright. Let's see here. We need iron. I'm going to have to... I don't know if I showed that thing before. That's what happened when you threw smooth stone onto it. I need to harvest that thing out, but it takes... This thing doesn't have the durability. It takes like 3, 4 repairs minimum to take out one of those things. Iron. Let's just grab a bit. Is that stone? Oh, that's cool. Not that we need it, but it's nice to have it. Now, I did run around and I killed off the tree fids because they were programmed to not kill what we had at the time. But you can see we have an iron golem now because the village breeding is actually working. So our villagers are, not dying off, which is fantastic. So, wow, they're piled up right there. So that means if I need one, I can just come up and grab it. One thing to watch out for when you're a vampire, don't eat in front of a witness. It ticks off the vampire hunters, and then they try and come and get you. I think over the course of probably 20 minutes, I think I had 12 different encounters with them, give or take. And it's just like every time I turned around, I'd swear they were standing there waiting for me. Kind of keeps you on your feet, I guess. Alright, let's get those. How many did we get? Okay, we got 3. That's good. 2. Interesting. Didn't know you could do that. Let's try that again. 2. Come on. Alright, I think I got a cat hair in my mouse. Right back. Okay, I think I got it. One of the joys of having cats. Alright, what are we doing here? Alright, so we got that. Let's see if there's anything else interesting we can make real quick. We don't need a wand recharge pedestal. Oh, this could be useful. How hard is this? Ooh, one of those things. Of course, we used up all our balance shards. Wouldn't be a bad idea to have one of those laying around eventually, but I don't think right now it's going to work. Okay. Alchemy? Anything interesting? I want to make some liquid death eventually. I was thinking about using one of those kinetic attractors. Where are you? There you are. The kinetic attractors. Problem is you need these telekinesis foci first, and I just haven't gone through and made it because it does require a little bit of work. But you can set these things to attack or attract items or entities. So entities, items, and you can feed it a soul. So you charge it up to like soul mold. So I could smack a creeper with it, and I could have that thing attract creepers. So you just set it in the middle of a pool of liquid death and have all the creepers sucked into it. Seems like that'd be a fitting end for those little pains, considering what they've done. Ooh, tainted stone, tainted tree. That could be useful. Somewhere around here I can make a bottled taint. The node in the little toxic waste dump dimension hasn't been moving along as fast as I was hoping it would. I was really hoping it would convert over, but it hasn't yet. I do want to make one of these, but haven't had a chance to do that yet. I mean, you can see 50 precantatio. I mean, that thing's kind of it's dangerous. So haven't done that yet. It's on the list. Newt's been requesting that one. I also want to kill Gaia at least once because there's something you can make that I could put on. I can't remember something vine or something like that. But you're supposed to be able to stick it on a random item, and it uses your mana to recharge that or to repair it. That would make his mutating sprig a little less susceptible to outright destruction from use. All I need is a balance shard for this one. Let's make another balance shard. Just get it over with. Get that done. Nope. Wait, how much of this do I have? 28 versus 36. We'll use this one because I've got I can break cobblestone down if I need to. One of the nice things about having those void jars laying around is you can, just toss something in there, like have a Terra void jar on it and just kind of let it go. And there. So now we need Ordo. Let's make a couple of them. Oop, wrong one. Let's do. I think I did that backwards, didn't I? Ordo's the one I wanted to save, but I'm using it. I should be using something else, but oh well. Come on. Why are you being difficult? Sometimes it's a little slow on the uptake. Alright. So, we need... Alright, 2 of the arcane stone, a slab, 2 iron, 2 gold, and a table. Okay, we can do that. So, 2, 3. 2 planks, 2 gold. We're going to need 2 iron. Let's make our table real quick. So there's our table. How did I end up with 4 slabs? Then we need 2 of these, 3 of those. Slabs. Alright, I think I made these before. Slab 2. Okay, so we need some iron. I think I left the iron over here if I remember right. Did I? I did. Perfect. And we'll use one of these tables again. 2 iron, 2 gold. Wait, I'm doing this out of sequence. Alright, I need 1 of every shard and 2 gold. So what happens when you get ahead of yourself? 2 more gold. That's more than 2 more, but oh well. And then 1 of every type of shard. So get each one of these. Look at that, conveniently enough, and I'm carrying iron in my inventory and I didn't even notice. It's amazing what you don't see when you're recording. It's kind of strange that way. Okay, these do need to go in a specific order. What was it? So air, fire, water. That's a weird combination. So air, fire, water, and then terra, ordo. Okay. So terra, ordo, and perdicio. And oh no, get back in there. Give me that. Did I? I didn't. Oh, it's getting late. Okay, so we'll take that. So now we need to put this here. Okay, so now we can use these pieces. This is where we need 2 gold, 2 iron, a slab, a table, 2 stones. Alright, so we need our fire, our Ignis, and our air to charge up. How are we doing? Stable, and air will be... Air's a little slow. You can see the Ignis is a 4, but the air is a 2. That's why it's charging faster. Or the Ignis charged faster. But we're almost there. So let's, while we're waiting, put that away, put our labels away, put that away. Okay. Alright, let's grab this one. That'll be the last one we need. That'll get all of our arcane tables over here and capable of charging our wands. And then I think between episodes I'll probably make a another wand. So I'll probably just make the gold, or was it the gold capped great wood, is it? Basic. Yeah, great wood wand. So I'll just make a great wood. I'll make a bunch of great wood rods and I'll put gold caps on them maybe. Because I remember thaumium. Yeah, you have to charge thaumium, so not worth it. Silver properties and gold uses one cap, but slightly more efficient when channeling. Caps. Yeah, a lot of the others you have to infuse, so we're just going to stick with gold because they're easy to make. So I'll just need 7 more wands and then we can be done with it. But we need to put this stuff back. Is that the right recipe for the pipes? How are we doing? Perfect. Let's find out. Need to make sure I have the recipe correct. I do not. Backwards? No. Well, see, now I gotta figure it out because it's gonna bug me otherwise. Iron. Okay. So. There. Okay. So we'll just put this back over here for now. And what are we gonna do with this thing? Let's just put it here. Enter relay. Now the trick is, did I do this right? Frugal. Okay, so you can kind of see here on the interface, I've taken my wand focus of warding, I put it in here. I'm working on my first enchant slot, and it gives me frugal. So I've got frugal, and that's what I want to take. So it's telling me it's going to take 2 air, 2 aqua, 2 paradisio, 2 terra, and 8 experience. Do I have 8? I do. Okay. Oh, okay. So I'm going to hit start, and you can watch as that graphic burns down as it takes off the materials. Let's go grab some experience while that's running. And nope. We've been storing experience for so long and really have had absolutely no use for it. Barrels. Let's just grab a few levels here, because I think as it gets higher it's going to start costing significantly more. So I'm going to charge up real quick. Once I get 20, 30 levels, I'll be back and we're going to go down and see if we can make that thing not cost so much. Alright, we're going to do one more on this because I wanted to see what would happen, and then I know this episode's running long, but that allowed me to get some of these things done that I haven't had a chance to do in a while. I end up with a lot of things just kind of sitting back and waiting because I want to do them on camera and I never get a chance to finish. We're going to put Architect on this one because you can see it gives you more control. So default is G and sneak G. So if this works the way I remember it does, it will allow me to increase the radius that I'm hitting with this thing, which is good because eventually I need to go modify the area under the altar, and it takes forever to do an area that size. The larger the areas I ward, the harder it is to, like, if I put that wand cap on and I'm looking in that direction, my frame rate just drops through the floor because of all those different areas it's working on. So you can see it's slowly burning off here. So as you slowly move into the other categories, it will give you more options usually. So let's see here. One thing I'm wondering, if we put an extra, can it pull a different type? Is it able to do 2 at once? It doesn't look like it. No, so that won't work. Now I do want to get an infernal furnace set up. I'm just not sure where yet. I mean, you can break those down a lot easier, but I'd still like to have a kind of a place where I can put them and use them when necessary. This is just taking forever. Alright, well, I'm going to let that thing finish because it's going to take a while. And in between episodes, I'm going to continue working on this, and then we're going to come back and hopefully be able to make some more progress in this room later. So, thank you for watching.